There have been comedy sitcoms without laugh tracks in the vast history of television, and shows that featured their first season with a laugh track, then entered their second season without a laugh track, such as The Monkees. And if you go really far back in the early history of sitcoms, the single cam method was still in use for a lot of TV shows, just like in filmmaking. For example, one of the earliest TV shows, The Life of Riley, found it impractical to have a live studio audience because of the single cam method in use. The show originally aired without laughter and had laugh tracks edited in later when the show was syndicated. But in the start of the new millennium, Malcolm in the Middle comes to mind as the premier show that kicked off this trend that prevailed in 2000s television into today's television. The show was created by Linwood Boomer and debuted on Fox on January 9th, 2000. Other successful single-cam comedy sitcoms without laugh tracks that would follow Malcolm in the Middle would be Modern Family, Parks and Recreation, The Office, Community, and Always Sunny in Philadelphia. One of the most iconic features of Malcolm in the Middle is the breaking of the fourth wall, when Malcolm seems to suspend a scene in a moment as he narrates toward the audience his feelings of what's going on in the episode. Another prominent feature of the show is its absence of a laugh track, which sometimes lends to the possibility of having some more emotional scenes than typical of a comedy with a laugh track. The hybridism of this show, or as to say the visual oral style and genre, is a mix of many things. One episode that comes to mind that details this blend of genre would be Ida's Dance from Season 6, Episode 18, which aired on April 17, 2005.
Every morning those damn birds! They can't keep... Wait! I can hear! I can hear! Oh my god, I'm so happy!
Many episodes of the series follow conflicts dealt by multiple characters. Hal and Reese have their own conflict they're dealing with in this episode, as does Lois and her mother Ida. But Malcolm's conflict is with Dewey. Malcolm is a genius with an extremely high IQ. Dewey also displays an extreme intellect, but specifically toward music, an affinity that Malcolm does not have. Malcolm signs up for music appreciation class thinking it'll be easy, but is dumbfounded to receive an F on his first paper. Malcolm then seeks the help of his musical genius of a brother, Dewey. In the middle of the episode, out of failure to understand music, Malcolm makes Dewey go deaf by turning up the stereo to full volume while Dewey has his headphones on. Malcolm ends up going deaf later in the episode as well. When Malcolm wakes up the next morning, he addresses the audience about how glad he is that he can hear again. He puts in the CD playing the song that he got an F writing about. He's moved to tears and says nothing more to the audience as the episode fades to black. The tone of this is very cinematic. It plays like a scene from a drama, except for his narration, which plays like a vlog or something that would become very prevalent in the coming years on YouTube. It's interesting that this episode premiered in 2005, the same year that YouTube was launched. The mixing of genre and the inclusion of something like a fourth wall breaking narration makes Malcolm in the Middle feel very personal, as though the show is Malcolm's personal diary of his coming-of-age years. The exclusion of something like a laugh track for a comedy sitcom also allows for some very profound scenes, like the one seen here. Here I am thinking about how modern Malcolm in the Middle is, how trend-setting and ahead of the times the show was for sort of kicking off the 2000s trend of single-cam comedies with no laugh track. But the more I think about things like Malcolm's narration and how synonymous it is with the show, I think about the blurring of the diegetic world and the non-diegetic world. What I mean is, the diegetic world is everything that's happening to the characters that they're aware of. Everything that's real to them. Their dialogue between each other, their conflicts, their emotions. The non-diegetic world would be the score or the background music, stuff that the characters are not aware of. But when Malcolm narrates and addresses the audience in the show, that is the non-diegetic world. The other characters are not aware that he's speaking to somebody. So, is this something that's modern, or is this just like a talk show host telling you to pay attention to the coming segment? Is it a tool of temporality to keep liveness and flow? A host of a production recapping what you may have missed while you were folding your clothes, cooking dinner, etc., and reminding you of the importance of what's coming up. I couldn't really find much online of people talking about this episode. And I find that very odd because I think if you're a fan of the show and you understand Malcolm's character, this is one of the rare moments in the show where he displays deep emotion or gets teary-eyed. And it's very unlike his character to be that way. So I think it's worth noting. Whatever you can say about Malcolm in the Middle, it's kind of undeniable that it's a classic show, and it's repeatedly voted on a lot of polls as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. And I think it begs the question, what is genre? And is genre becoming more fluid as time goes on? Some things to think about.